Today, our topic is what is the meaning of life? Different philosophical perspectives. Life is a big question, and people have been trying to answer it for thousands of years. Some say life has no meaning, and we must create our own. Others believe life has a purpose given by a higher power or the universe. Let's explore some of these ideas and see how they can help us live better, more meaningful lives. First, let's talk about existentialism. This is a philosophy that says life has no built-in meaning. It might sound sad, but existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus say this is actually freeing. If life has no set meaning, we can choose our own. We are free to decide what matters to us. This can be exciting, but it also comes with responsibility. If we choose our own path, we must take full responsibility for our choices. This can feel heavy, but it also means we have the power to shape our lives. For example, if you want to be an artist, a teacher, or a scientist, you can pursue that dream. No one can tell you what you should do. You decide. This idea can be motivating because it reminds us that we are in control of our lives. But it can also be scary because it means we can't blame others if things go wrong. Existentialism teaches us to embrace this freedom and take ownership of our lives. Next, let's look at Stoicism. This is an ancient philosophy that says the meaning of life is to live in harmony with nature and focus on what we can control. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, believe that many things in life are out of our control. We can't control the weather, other people's actions, or even our own health sometimes. But we can control how we respond to these things. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By doing this, we can find peace and happiness, no matter what happens around us. For example, if you lose your job, you can't change that fact, but you can control how you react. You can choose to stay calm, learn from the experience, and look for new opportunities. Stoicism reminds us that life is full of challenges, but we have the power to face them with strength and dignity. This philosophy can inspire us to stay focused on what really matters and not get upset by things we can't change. Another perspective comes from religion and spirituality. Many religions teach that life has a purpose given by God or a higher power. For example, in Christianity, the meaning of life is often seen as loving God and others, and preparing for eternal life. In Buddhism, the goal is to achieve enlightenment and free oneself from suffering. In Hinduism, life is seen as a journey of self-discovery and union with the divine. These beliefs give people a sense of direction and comfort. They provide answers to big questions like, why are we here? And what happens after we die? For many, this makes life feel more meaningful. If you believe in a higher purpose, it can motivate you to live with kindness, compassion, and gratitude. It can also help you find hope during difficult times. Religion and spirituality remind us that life is part of something bigger, and this can be very inspiring. Now let's talk about utilitarianism. This is a philosophy that says the meaning of life is to create the greatest happiness for the greatest number of people. Utilitarians, like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, believe that actions are good if they lead to happiness and bad if they cause suffering. This idea can inspire us to think about how our choices affect others. For example, if you have the chance to help someone in need, utilitarianism would say you should do it because it increases happiness in the world. Wow! This philosophy encourages us to be kind, generous, and thoughtful. It reminds us that we are all connected and that our actions matter. By focusing on the well-being of others, we can find purpose and fulfillment in life. Another interesting perspective is Absurdism. This philosophy, developed by Albert Camus, says that life has no meaning and the universe is indifferent to us. This might sound depressing, but Camus believed we can still find joy and purpose in life. He compared life to Sisyphus, a character from Greek mythology who is punished to push a rock up a hill forever, only to watch it roll back down. Camus said, "We are like Sisyphus, but we can choose to be happy anyway. We can find meaning in the struggle itself." For example, even if your work feels repetitive or pointless, you can still find joy in the small moments like talking to a friend or enjoying a beautiful sunset. Absurdism teaches us to embrace the chaos and uncertainty of life and find happiness in the present moment. Finally, let's talk about humanism. This is a philosophy that says the meaning of life is to improve ourselves and the world around us. Humanists believe in the power of human reason, creativity, and compassion. They focus on making the world a better place through science, art, and kindness. For example, if you care about the environment, you might work to protect nature. If you care about social justice, you might fight for equality and fairness. Humanism encourages us to use our talents and abilities to help others and make a positive impact. This philosophy can inspire us to live with purpose and passion. It reminds us that we have the power to create change and that our actions can make a difference. So, what is the meaning of life? As we've seen, there are many answers. Some say life has no meaning, and we must create our own. Others believe life has a purpose given by a higher power or the universe. Some focus on happiness, while others focus on struggle or self-improvement. The truth is, there is no single answer. The meaning of life is something we each must discover for ourselves. But no matter what you believe, there are some common themes. Life is about connection, growth, and finding joy in the present moment. It's about facing challenges with courage and kindness. It's about making the most of the time we have and leaving the world a little better than we found it. In the end, the meaning of life is not something we find outside ourselves. It's something we create through our thoughts, actions, and relationships. Whether you find meaning in religion, philosophy, or simply in the beauty of everyday life, the important thing is to live with intention and purpose. Life is short, and it's up to us to make it meaningful. So, take a moment to think about what matters to you. What do you care about? What brings you joy? What kind of person do you want to be? These are the questions that will guide you to your own answer. And remember, no matter what challenges you face, you have the power to choose how you respond. You have the power to create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. So go out there and live with courage, kindness, and curiosity. The meaning of life is waiting for you to discover it.